The January 6th investigation is the largest in the history of the department. On television last night, one program aired some video and characterized it as sightseeing by a bunch of people coming into the Capitol who revered it. You've seen some of that video. What's your reaction to that?
So I don't want to comment on any particular reports. I think all Americans saw what happened on January 6th, and most of us saw it as it was happening. It was a violent attack on a fundamental tenet of American democracy, that power is peacefully transferred from one administration to another. Over 100 officers were assaulted on that day. 5 officers died. We have charged more than 1,000 people with their crimes on that day, and more than 500 have already been convicted. I think it's very clear what happened on January 6th.
Yeah, did he just say that 5 police officers died that day? No, he didn't say that protesters killed 5 police officers, but he did say 5 police officers died that day. The only way that would be true is if you were talking about the suicides after of some of the officers. No doubt they were upset by this whole thing, whoever really did perpetrate it, right? But, you know, looking back now, there were 5 people who died that day. And so he got it wrong. Even if he stumbled and he was like, oh, my bad, that is now in the collective consciousness and the collective unconscious. And it doesn't go away. Even I was like, oh, man, I wasn't sure if I remembered what was actually true. That's how it's done. So Evan Perez is the CNN political reporter. He's a smart guy. He covered the Hillary Clinton private server story. But I found it interesting when he asked the question, he would not name the news channel that had aired this newly unearthed security footage. And he also used faulty generalization as well as a straw man by holding up this broadcast on Tucker Carlson as boiling down to one thing, saying that it was just a tourist event, like a tour of the Capitol. So everyone knows that with almost 1 million people there that day, there's no way that you could use one descriptor and describe that event. So many things happening. And he, as the head of the Department of Justice, also knows that there were many FBI informants there, and there were many people there, which Tucker Carlson covered, many people there who were never indicted, and they were seen directing people to push down barriers, and as well as some were seen smashing windows. And then of course there were 500 people arrested, including Jacob Chansley, the Anon Shaman, who I knew he had been allowed into the Senate chamber. I knew that. It was obvious. I think even the New Yorker had some video where it just seemed like he was very calm and felt comfortable, felt comfortable. They weren't trying to remove him at all. And then he gets convicted and he's in prison now, for federal prison, for 4 years. But the evidence shows that he was basically escorted in. This man, who was sitting on the floor of the Senate, was asked by a law enforcement officer if he needed medical attention. He said, no, thank you so much, I'm good. Then he told the person on the other end of the line that he had been shot in the face with a plastic bullet. Even if they were just trying to de-escalate the situation, that's really fishy. I can't believe Merrick Garland is doubling down on this faulty generalization, basically saying, taking one thing that's true, there were some people touring the Capitol building like it was a tour and also a chance to make their voices heard. But at the same time, there were also other people who were up to no good. Does Evan Perez and Merrick Garland, do they mention that? No, they're all the same brush stroke. And, honestly, what do you do in the face of such clear evidence of a cover-up? Not much. Merrick Garland seems nervous in his voice as well as angry. Stay tuned and stay strong. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe to the page. And above all, keep calm and share complete facts.